Picture this. European powers in 1885, Berlin, drawing lines across Africa with no regard for the people living there. Those lines became scars, fueling conflict and shaping destinies for generations. Fast forward to June 2025. Instead of erasing those scars, Nigeria announces a plan to build a massive border fence, reinforcing the very colonial lines that divided Africa in the first place. The official reason? Security. Stopping smugglers, curbing illegal immigration, fighting terrorism. But a fence here isn't just concrete and steel. It's a symbol. A statement that problems are solved by building walls, not communities. This project isn't just about construction. It's a political echo of Africa's most divisive history. Nigeria, Africa's giant, is doubling down on a European mistake, turning old wounds into new barriers. The irony: the Berlin Conference's ghost is alive and well, now consulting on West African infrastructure. Instead of moving forward, Nigeria risks leaping backward, cementing the past, not healing it. This wall sets the stage for a major showdown, not just with weapons, but with ideas about Africa's future. Will the continent choose unity or reinforce the lines that have long kept it apart? The world is watching as Nigeria redraws the map, this time in concrete. The stakes: nothing less than the soul of West Africa. The question: is this security or self-imposed isolation? The borders Nigeria shares with its neighbors weren't drawn by Africans. They were drawn in Europe, splitting ethnic groups and communities with a ruler's edge. Now, in 2025, Nigeria wants to trace those colonial scars with concrete and barbed wire, making them permanent. Building this fence isn't just about security. It's an endorsement of the Berlin Conference's legacy. For decades, Africa's dream has been integration, free movement, shared cultures, open trade. ECOWAS and the African Union were built on this vision. Yet Nigeria, the region's powerhouse, is choosing to wall itself off, undermining the collective spirit needed for progress. The proposed fence will snake through forests, deserts, and towns, severing communities that have existed for centuries. It turns a line on a map into a daily obstacle, a constant reminder of division. The fence doesn't just separate countries, it divides families, economies, and histories. It's a tragic case of a nation locking its own cell, just as the door was about to open. Instead of healing, Nigeria risks deepening the wounds of colonialism. The message: the past still rules the present. Is this the future Africa wants to build? Zoom in on the border towns: Ilela in Nigeria, Koni in Niger. For generations, they've been one community, crossing borders for markets, family, and daily life. The fence would turn routine visits into international ordeals, passports, checkpoints, suspicion. Families become foreigners, neighbors become threats. This isn't hypothetical, it's the looming reality for millions. Identities here are Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba, transcending artificial borders. The fence is an assault on that shared identity. Economically, it's devastating. Small traders, mostly women, depend on open borders to survive. The fence criminalizes their livelihoods, forcing them into bureaucracy or smuggling. Prosperity stalls. History is severed. These communities have traded, married, and lived together for centuries, long before colonial lines. The fence tries to erase that history, teaching future generations to see the other side as different, as other. It's not just a physical barrier, it's a psychological one, harder to tear down than steel. The tragedy isn't just in concrete, but in lost connection. Is this the legacy Nigeria wants to leave? Colonial railways in Africa were built to extract resources, not connect people. Today, Nigeria's proposed wall is the new infrastructure of isolation, keeping people in and others out. Instead of investing in railways or highways to unite the region, billions will be spent on division. True security comes from shared prosperity, not higher walls. Imagine if that money built universities, joint farms, or modern railways, corridors of commerce, not barriers. The fence is a medieval answer to modern problems, ignoring the interconnected challenges of the Sahel. You can't wall off poverty or ideas. This project drains resources, stifles progress, and cements fear. Africa needs infrastructure for unity, not monuments to mistrust. Will Nigeria build connections, or just more walls? While Nigeria plans its wall, leaders in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are pushing for Pan-African unity. The Alliance of Sahel States is tearing down barriers, not building them, dreaming of open borders, a single currency, and shared destiny. For them, Nigeria's fence is a betrayal, a sign of giving up on African solutions. Their vision is radical integration, not isolation. As Nigeria spends billions on separation, the Sahel Alliance is building a borderless zone. This is more than a policy clash, it's a battle of ideas. Nigeria's wall stands for the old order. The Sahel's unity is a blueprint for Africa's future. The question, will Africa's giant lead by building bridges, or by building barriers? The continent's direction hangs in the balance. Which vision will win? The economic fallout of the fence would be immediate and severe. Pastoralists like the Fulani, who've migrated across borders for centuries, would see their way of life destroyed. Ancient migration routes would be blocked, fueling conflict and desperation. Trade, both formal and informal, would grind to a halt, hurting millions who rely on cross-border markets. The fence would force traders into the shadows, making smuggling more dangerous and profitable. Instead of stopping crime, the wall would empower criminal networks. Nigeria would spend billions to damage its own economy and those of its neighbors. Supply chains would break, costs would rise, and poverty would deepen. The wall would create the very instability it claims to prevent. The price isn't just money, it's lost livelihoods and hope. Is this the cost Nigeria is willing to pay? Nigeria's wall sent shockwaves through ECOWAS and the African Union organizations built on free movement and unity. The plan threatens to unravel decades of regional integration. The AU's vision of a borderless Africa is under threat. Nigeria's move is a retreat into isolation. If Nigeria walls itself off, what stops others from following? But resistance is rising. Online, young Africans are uniting under Sark's No More Walls using memes videos and digital campaigns to fight back. They see the fence as a prison, not protection. Digital activism is forging a new Pan-African solidarity transcending borders, governments, and old ideas. Students, artists, and writers are collaborating across the region, building bridges in cyberspace. This grassroots movement is a powerful challenge to the wall's political momentum. The future of Africa may be decided not in boardrooms, but online. Africa stands at a crossroads. Nigeria's wall is a signpost. One path, integration, shared sovereignty, and a united continent. The other, isolation, fortified borders, and a retreat into the colonial map. Nigeria risks cutting itself off from a new Pan-African movement, becoming an isolated giant as neighbors unite. The wall, meant to project strength, could symbolize irrelevance. The choice, build a fortress or build a future. Fortresses stifle growth and connection. Integration demands trust and vision. The stakes are high. Nigeria's decision will shape the continent's destiny. Will it lead or wall itself in? The next turn is Africa's to make. Africa's destiny, walls or bridges? Nigeria's plan forces the question. A wall is fear made concrete. A bridge is hope made real. The Pan-African dream is about erasing lines, not reinforcing them. The real test, will Africa build prisons of division or bridges of unity? Every wall is a missed opportunity for connection, growth, and shared progress. The future isn't written in stone or steel. It's defined by courage, vision, and unity. The choice is ours. Invest in connection, not separation. Let's build bridges, not barriers. The dawn of a united Africa is within reach, if we choose it. This is Insight Africa, where truth speaks and unity leads the way.